Secretary Gaite, no? Alam mo yung because of text messaging nga, no, instant feedback, di ba? Usually pag meron kaming ditong resource person tapos let's say nagpapakamatay siya sa pagsisinungaling for something, no? Talagang ang tinetext sa amin o feedback sa amin paglabas namin parang buti nga yun nasira siya or buti nga na-expose siya or something like that, no? But alam mo in your case, to be very honest with you, ang text sa amin lahat panay sayang. Parang people really look at you, especially those who know you, to be a man of integrity. And even ako, no, yung unang beses ka testify dito, tumitingin ka kay June, tapos June, ako ba nagsabi sa'yo? You know, I not only your demeanor, no, I can see it in your eyes that you mean well, eh. No, so, allow me to ask you these questions, no. Di ba lahat naman tayo nagte-take ng oath, eh, di ba? Before we start serving, no? And in the oath, we ask God, no, or we take our oath before God to follow the Constitution and our laws. Can you use the mic?
Yes, sir.
Yung loyalty ho ba natin sa Constitution o sa Presidente?
To the Constitution, Your Honor.
So if the Constitution tells you to do something and the President tells you to do another thing, which one would you follow?
Your Honor, we have to be very specific about this.
In general?
Yeah. Well, in general, you follow the Constitution. You also follow the President.
Yes. Paano kung may conflict na may pinapagawa yung Presidente pero alam mong unconstitutional o alam mong illegal o alam mong immoral?
Well, you will have to make that decision when you're asked when you're confronted with that situation, Your Honor.
So have you chosen the President over a moral question?
That has never come across with me because I do not deal directly with the President, Your Honor.
No, because you said kanina na because of conscience, faith, and awa, you gave the money to Mr. Losada. Tama
Yes,
po?
Your Honor.
Walang pumasok ko na conscience, faith, at awa sa tao when he was saying na kung ano ite-testify niya, tapos tinutulungan niyong wag mag-testify.
No, Your Honor. For the record, I will say that I did not tell June not to testify in the Senate.
You did not also tell him to testify.
No, I told him when he comes back from his trip, come back to me, bring all your documents, because then I can properly make the advice to you.
You were rushing him off to Hong Kong, di ba?
No, Your Honor.
Then why would you meet? Kung totoong yung kanyang papel was way long before pa, di ba? You don't have to meet anymore. Nag-meet kayo because alam niyang may supina siya at ang sinabi niyo, supina lang naman yan eh. Meron ka namang official trip, excuse yan, sige, lumarga ka na muna.
Your Honor, I give briefings to cabinet secretaries, even Department Legislative Liaison Office about how to deal with appearances in Senate.
How to evade the Senate hearing.
Hindi po. I give them the parameters. And that's the same briefing that I gave to June. These are the possible reasons for you not to attend a hearing. But then,
I could understand that. Kung ako man nasa posisyon mo, as a lawyer and as loyal to the President, siguro lalagyan ko ng parameters, di ba? Pero depende din yon sa laman ng testimony, di ba?
Well, we did not even go into that.
For example, if you had President X now, and you found out that yung magte-testify may alam tungkol sa wedding, may alam tungkol sa kickbacks, yung pamilya, nagnenegosyo sa gobyerno, etc. Could you in conscience stick to the parameters and not even whisper to that witness, sige na nga, mag-testify ka na lang, people deserve to know the truth?
Actually, my frame of mind, even when June was still here, eventually he will have to testify. That was already my frame of mind. You will just have to assist him in the way that he faces the Senate. Never it occurred to me because I know that there was no...
Assist him in di ba sinabi niya sa inyo yung kanyang testimony?
Ay, hindi po. He did not say.
June, you never told
he was telling me about death threats. I do not know kung ano
Can
pang...
I ask Mr. Losada? Mr. Losada, did you tell Secretary Gaite about yung laman ng iyong testimony?
Ang sinabi ko po ron sa mga staff ni Manny Gaite, nasabi ko salient points na lang dahil sawan-sawa na ako magkwento nito at ayoko nang marami pa makaalam. Sabi ko sa kanila, ito yung transaksyon, 130 million talaga yung cost. 132, pinapatungan ng 130, at nung pinirmahan, nadagdagan pa ng halos 70. Sabi ko sa kanila, kung sinong matapang dito sa opisina nyo to, kayong dumepensa sa publiko nito kasi hindi ko didepensan sa publiko to.
Kilala mo po yung staff ni Mr. Gaite na yan?
Opo, sina Yaki po, yung mga staff. And then we had lunch together.
Pero wala si Secretary Gaite doon.
Wala po siya noon and then he joined us doon sa lunch.
Brief ba siya ng mga lawyers niya?
I'm sure.
Secretary-
Para sa akin, kasi po, that was the essence. Kaya ako pinapunta ron para i-brief si Secretary Gaite about my predicament.
Yes. Secretary, hindi ka ba na-brief kung ano lamang?
Yes, there was a briefing, and then the briefing was about now yung kanyang appearance in the Senate.
Okay.
And then his predicament, because he was saying, I do not want to go to the
Yeah,
Senate.
he doesn't want, not because takot siya sa Senado, but because takot siya magsabi ng totoo kung anong mangyayari sa kanya.
Hindi po.
And, let me just interrupt, sir. Then you can.
Yes, sir.
Paulit-ulit ang mga taga-gobyerno dito na si Jun Lozada takot sa Senado. Si Jun Lozada takot sa threat ng Senado. That's not true. He clarified that a number of times. Takot siya pumunta sa Senado dahil hindi siya magsisinungaling. At pagdating niya ng Senado at magsasabi siya ng totoo, takot siya sa mangyayari sa kanya galing sa gobyerno. The people he feared are all in government. Abalos, FG, GMA, Secretary Atienza, etc. Ganyan. Or he might not have feared them because he was ginagamit niya ng tulay, but he knew that if he crossed them, meaning nagsabi na siya totoo, that's what he feared, di ba? So, brief po kayo na if he appears, that's what he's going to say. Yes or no?
We
Were
did
you-
not go into very
Sige po.
specifics. Kasi ano na lang yun eh. Summary, he said, I have these death threats. If you can take away these death threats. And then he said, I don't want to go to the Senate because I don't like what happened to Secretary Romineri when he appeared. And then number 3, he said, because if I go to the Senate, I cannot tell a lie. I remember that. He said that to me.
Yes, cannot tell a lie. Tapos sinabi niya sa staff niyo kung ano sasabihin niya about the project, which will severely damage your principal or the president that you worked for.
Well, I did not know about that, yung details na nung...
Because your staff did not brief you on it.
Hindi na po, because at that time when we met already, we were now talking about his trip to London. Because he said he didn't want to attend.
Yeah, the reason why I was speechless for 1 second is kasi parang kayo po tumingin from our point of view, okay?
Oo.
Okay. Hindi nyo maalis yung Manny Gaite as a person and Manny Gaite, agent of Malacanang, being a deputy executive secretary, hindi po ba? Pupunta yung witness sa inyo, siguro po, hindi naman lahat ng heads, ordinaryong heads lang ng mga government corporation, VIP kay Secretary Atienza, VIP sa inyo, VIP kay ES, etc. No? Siguro yung mga magwi-witness lang sa Senado, yun lang ang VIP. Would they get the same treatment? Like, I don't know, kung meron, let's say sa kabilang room, no, meron director of whatever corporation, would they get the same 500,000, the same VIP treatment? Would they get a trip to Hong Kong? Would they get to call up any of the secretaries at any time if they're not a witness sa isang Senate hearing?
I don't know, Your Honor, but when June came to me, it was just at the referral of Secretary Rominari. I did not even know that it was about ZTE. So it was just our first time to meet.
That's why I'm speechless kasi hindi ko alam kung incompetence yun. I mean, magbibigay ka 500,000, hindi mo papaalam sa boss mo, alam mong napakainit ng issue dito, and then i-interviewin ng staff mo, sasabihin nila, sinabi niya, ito salient points, $130 million, si FG, si Abalos, etc. Hindi naman yung staff mo, hindi naman sasabihin sa iyo ito. I mean, di ba? Tapos si secretary sasabihin kay PNP chief, sunduin, sasabihin ni Mascareña, inikot siya. I mean, you put all of this together, parang how do you really expect, di ba? I mean, we want to honor good people in government, eh. And we want to be fair to everyone here, but we're also looking for sound reason and judgment. I mean, we understand your predicament, eh. Si Mr. Lozada was in your shoes 2 months ago, no? But I mean, Secretary, let me put it this way. Nagpalit tayo ng posisyon. Ako witness, yan ang sinasabi ko. Ikaw abogado. Niniwala ka sa sinasabi ko? Di ba napakahirap?
Yes, Your Honor, I will believe you.
Kung nagpalit tayo ng sitwasyon, parang fairy tale yung kinikwento niyo sa amin, eh.
Well, Your Honor, I already said what I have to say based on my recollection on what had happened with June Lozada, and I stand by that. statement, Your Honor.
Okay, last question na lang siguro, Mr. Gaite. I'm hoping that we will, though the questions are hard, I'm hoping that you feel that we're treating you fairly here, no? But
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
sa Outback, nagkita kayo doon?
I know, we did not.
Wala ka
No,
doon?
I was not there.
So it's just communication lang with the lawyers,
Yes, Your
no?
Honor.
So my last line of questioning is just doon sa lawyers, no? Yung bakit si Attorney Bautista ang pinasa mo kay Mr. Lazar? Was that purely your decision or someone told you si Attorney Bautista na gamitin natin?
I kind of discussed that with Attorney Lentejas because I realized that,
Attorney-
Lentejas.
And-
He's the lawyer of Secretary Romineri.
Okay, why were you talking to him?
He was in that meeting with us. The five of us were meeting
Okay.
that time. And then I said, I think June would need a lawyer when he comes back.
And Attorney Bautista is also the lawyer
Of Secretary Romineri. That's
Yes.
the reason why it entered my mind that perhaps Attorney Bautista would be the right person to help legally June.
But being a lawyer, hindi ba totoo din po that when you're dealing with two people who can be accused of a crime, usually we give them separate lawyers?
No, Your Honor. The consideration that came to me, I will be very honest, Your Honor. When there was a problem with Secretary Neri, I said, who can possibly help him? Then I said, who helped Secretary Bert Gonzales when he had problems about arrest in the Senate? I called up Bert Gonzales. Bert Gonzales says, Attorney Bautista. I don't know Attorney Bautista. And then, so when Secretary Neri had problems, Attorney Bautista helped him.
Yeah.
And so when I knew that there was
that's
a possible
precisely my
problem-
point. The
Yes.
interest you were protecting at that point in time was the interest of Malacanang and not of Mr. Losada. Primarily.
No,
Secondary lang siya.
No, Your Honor. I said, if we have to give assistance to June...
Let me explain why I say that. No? Pareho tayong abogado, di ba? Alam mo, pagka criminal lawyer ka, dalawa yung accused, sasabihin mo doon kung mahal mo talaga, magkaiba tayo ng abogado. Because kung hindi, baka magkalaglagan dito, yung mas maliit malalaglag. So katulad ng relationship ni Mr. Losada at Mr. Neri, if we were just plain lawyers, not government lawyers, ang sasabihin natin, Mr. Losada, huwag kang papayag na abogado ni Neri, abogado mo. Pagka nagkagipitan dito, laglag ka, siya ang isa-save. No? The reason why I bring it up, saan ka nakakita ng abogado ni Superintendent Paul Mascareñas, General Hilumen, General Rason, Valeroso, SPO3 Ochea, SPO2 Nelson Malto, Kilalan, SPO2 Galinera, SPO2 Halog, SPO1 Batotok, Police Chief Inspector Julio Gorospe, SPO1 Suela, PO1 Oy, PO2 Randy Aquino, PO1 Mauro Lim, etc. Iisang abogado din lang. Hindi isang opisina to ha, iba ang ASG, iba ang PNP, iba din ang PSPO, isang abogado lang, no? Unless nga, meron nagsasabi sa kanila, eto ang gawin nyo. And I think Senator Jambi Madrigal mentioned that this lawyer was also the lawyer of, Mosqueda, who was allegedly the person who said that the signature of Jose Pidal is the signature of Iggy Arroyo and not of Mike Arroyo. No? So, again, sir, no? That's what we're saying. And when we look at the pieces and details of this story, we find it a little bit, let me put it this way, not to prejudge, no? Instead na yung sagot, ma-at peace na kami, more questions are brought forth. So, for example, right now, the President said na may mali pala sa kontrata, so she canceled it. But all her secretaries were right here saying na walang mali sa kontrata eh. So now, for example, sa posisyon nyo, who was telling the truth? The President or all the other secretaries? I mean, I don't really want to be in your situation, but wala kami in choice eh. We have to get to the bottom of this.
I am not in a position, Your Honor, to make a judgment of whether the President or the secretaries. I do not know the circumstances that led them to make those statements because I have no personal knowledge at all about ZTE. And Your Honor, let me just restate the reason why I gave Attorney Bautista is I do not want a lawyer to restudy the case again. Attorney Bautista is familiar already with executive privilege issue. He discussed that in the case of Bert Gonzalez. He is discussing that with Neri. So now, if you give a new lawyer who is not familiar with executive privilege, he will have to learn the thing.
I don't want to ask you questions to pin you down because I don't want to pin you down. I want you to be able to have your space and be able to tell us what you know, but all of us, kanya-kanyang circumstance. But since ganun yung story mo, I just have to ask you these questions. No? So your brother-in-law na contractor, saan siya nakatira?
Just beside our house, Your Honor.
Okay, so why would you bring the money from your house in Santa Maria to Malacanang and then back to your house?
There are other the pay for the curtain, for
Doesn't
the window.
the contractor take care of that?
Hindi po. These were contracted out separately.
So,
Yes, Your Honor.
I know, pero medyo...
And there were really contracts that are not.
Okay. So yung tanong naman ni Senator Escudero, no, I was thinking the same thing. May credit card si Mr. Losada eh. Hindi ba initially, te-text mo na lang siya na, June, i-credit card mo na lang i-credit card, settle na lang natin pag uwi mo. Hindi ba yun ang mas normal na gagawin? And then, sasabihin mo sa mga boss nila, kay Secretary Atienza, etc. na gano'n, di ba? Rather than sending him 500,000 in cold cash.
I did not think about that anymore because I had no way of asking June
And
about
isn't
that.
it true na may limit din? Sabi nyo kasi kanina, marireimburse naman to eh.
Yes.
Isn't it also true na may mga government circulars kung magkano per day ang pwede lang gastusin ng isang public official pag sa abroad?
Yes, Your Honor.
And it's only about $300 a day, more or less.
I'm not very familiar, Your Honor.
It's about $300 pang congressman na yon. No? Mas maliit pagka sa iba. I don't know saan. But it's about $300 to $400. $300 to $400 is only about 16,000 pesos a day. So kahit 10 days siya, that's only 160,000. $500,000 yung choice nyo ng binigay. Wasn't this a little bit over naman to? I mean, you could have given 100, you could have given 200.
Yeah, on hindsight, I realized that it was really a little bit more. But at the time that I made the decision, that was the amount that I figured out, Your Honor.
Well, anyway, we've heard your side. And now, yes,
Mr.
just to
Chairman.
wrap up before we... Senator Estrada, then Chairman Rojas to wrap up before we have a lunch break.
Thank you. Point of inquiry, Mr. Chairman. May I know what is the status of our invitation to the police officials?
We issued a subpoena to those who were invited last time but did not arrive. Then, upon suggestion by the Senate President and other members of the Senate, we will be issuing them a show cause order. For those who weren't invited last time, we sent them an invitation, including the PSG, and the PSG asked for time to ask their superiors advice on what to do with the invitation.